So that's just a basic overview. So there's probably a few words in there that I've said that you've maybe not quite understood. Click paths and bounce rate, potentially some people are not quite sure about. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take you through actually how to go about looking at your Google Analytics. I think most people here know what SEO and pay-per-click is. If you don't, just let me know so I can quickly explain. Okay, basically SEO is the first part. When you build your website, it's something that we strongly recommend you do. SEO basically helps get your website its visibility on the internet. So you have some keywords, so whether it might be hotels in Edinburgh or it might be web design in Edinburgh, when we do our optimization, we look at your keywords and we put that through your site. So if someone types in those words within Google, maybe not just your company name, but those keywords, you can rank up in Google. And being visible in Google is very, very important because 70% of traffic comes from Google, I believe. And so, that's so important if someone doesn't know your company, but they're looking for clothing or they're looking, for specific products in Edinburgh, they can find that information just by typing those words. So that's SEO is basically optimizing your website for search engines. And pay-per-click is basically, I'll give you a quick example, actually, it's probably the easiest way to show you. If I can find this. If I were to type in online marketing Edinburgh, you'll find here that this is the first organic search that comes up. I think we're fairly close to the top there. But basically, the first, this is your SEO. Having good SEO is going to get you within the top first pages where you really want to aim for. And then this area here is where you have your pay-per-click. So these are people that have paid for online marketing Edinburgh as a search term. You'll see them here and you'll also see them down the left-hand side there. So that's people that are looking to have that visibility on it. So when we talk about AdWords, this is basically making sure that you're getting shown in the pay-per-click here. I think there's quite a few people in here that are actually have active pay-per-click campaigns. If not everyone has, I guess, yeah, everyone should have their basic SEO in place here anyway. Okay, so I'm going to just take you through the basic navigation. I think everyone potentially here has had a look at Google Analytics or knows how to view the first couple of things, whether that's just looking at how many people visited your site, whether that's up or down. So just to bring out a few important parts of it. So when you log into your Google Analytics account, you'll see this part here. This gives you an overview of all your accounts. Now, most of you will probably only have your one account, which runs along the top here. But for some people, they may have 2 or 3 accounts, depending on how many websites they have. But you can get all that information in one place. So in this case, the user has access to 3 accounts. So to view your account, all you obviously need to do is click on the actual name there. So when you're inside there, it takes you to your account-specific page. From here, you can actually manage the setup and configuration of your account and profile. So you can also toggle to your other accounts at the top. My left-hand side there, top right-hand side, if you have your other accounts here. Alternatively, to view your report on Google Analytics, just simply view your report. You can also change filters and permissions down at the bottom-hand side there, but that's something, if you're not quite sure about, we're always happy to give a hand about. You can edit, using the edit button there is where you can have a look at the configurations, and Javier will maybe talk a little bit about setting up. Might be a question later about IP addresses and how to stop your company being, I think that's something we generally set up anyway. So when you actually click on that view report, you get taken to your report interface. And this is generally what it looks like. You're set up with this kind of basic, your average report. So you'll see here that you've got your visits, your map, and your traffic sources. That's how it's laid out. But within this, you'll be able to see your report navigation. So clicking through to the other parts of this, which we're going to have a look at. Having a look at your settings for your account, help resources, export options, email setups, your data export options, calendar dates. So you can have, there's also several places to find that if you need it, but you can check between different periods that you're looking for. and again, help. So what's great about Google Analytics is there's plenty of places to get help if you're looking for it. So I mean, if you're not quite sure, there's always hoverovers where I'm going to show you, where to find those. But having the help center is very useful if you've got a couple of questions, or if you hear me saying a word that you're not quite sure about, then you know the words to look for if you're going into the help center. So if we're looking at the navigation category, so I'll show you again, this is your navigation up here, so on the top left hand side. Within that navigation, you'll see that your reports are organized into categories. So here you actually have your visitors, traffic source, content, goals, e-commerce. Some people may not see the e-commerce actually there if it's not set up, but Javier will talk a bit more about the e-commerce setup later. So to view a report, all you need to do is simply just click on the link there, and some of them, like AdWords, will have additional menus you can view, but we're going to go through each of those main categories later. But for a basic overview, I mean, your visitors gives you your information, such as the loyalty, language, and location. Traffic sources, that's how people are coming to your website, whether it's through your pay-per-click, whether it's through your organic search, which is how your SEO works. Your content, so this is the pages viewed. Goals, that's something obviously we're going to talk about later, so your conversion rates and how well your goals are working. And e-commerce, if it's enabled, you can check your product-specific information, your goals, your turnover, and your revenue, average revenue for that. So what's really great about Google Analytics is the fact you can compare bits side by side. You can select a date range to compare to the current date range if you want. So you may look at 1 month, this month over last month, this month over this year over last year if you've had it set up that long, this week over this week. So there's no limits. And it's great that there's a bit we'll talk about later that you can even actually find out time frames within a day. So whether you find people are actually converting better at lunchtime because they're browsing for your product at lunchtime, or you find that people are using your website more in the morning to continue with what they're looking for.